Let me get memories stamped on here, and I'll tell you what I'm doing. This is a stamp I have that I got on eBay. I think it was with some other stamps. And it stamps pretty well if I hold my mouth right. So I'm using archival ink and watering can, which is a dark gray. And I already have memories on there, but I'll tell you how I did that and what I'm doing with it as soon as I put this down. Okay, I'm stamping on vellum, so it's going to take a minute to dry. And I want to be careful with it because it will smudge if it's not completely dry. That turned out pretty good. Okay, let me put this here and stamp off my ink a little bit. Okay. What I'm doing is I'm making a little Christmas journal. I've been wanting to do something Christmas-wise for a while. And what I did to get this positioned is I stamped memories on a piece of tea bag, and then I placed it under there and moved it around till I liked where it was. And I hope I got it kind of straight. It kind of goes up and down anyway, so maybe it doesn't matter too much. But anyway, these this little book is made. I have 3 Christmas cards in here that were in my mother's things, and they were from very long ago. This is a vintage Christmas card from about 1953, I think. It was from her mother and daddy. And down here at the bottom it says, "A home for you all." And the reason it says that is my daddy was a farmer, and it seemed like whenever the lease was up, it was always between the end of the year and January 1st we moved, or before then, to be moved out by then. And at that time, there was a real shortage of houses in our area, and Daddy had been looking for a while to find some place to move. And so here it was Christmas, and it was still kind of up in the air. I think there might have been something in the works, but I'm not too sure about that. But anyway, that's why my grandmother wrote that on there. And I just think this little house is very sweet. And I decided to go ahead and use 3 cards. This one has Belle on the front. Mother was a saver, and she put these cards in an old Christmas card box and kept them. And all these years later, I found them, and they're treasures to me because I can remember some of this stuff, and I can also use them in my junk journal work. This is another Christmas card. This was from Daddy's sister's family. And that's the other side is in the back. I also want to put these snowflakes on here. And I think I'm going to put one over Happy New Year and one up here on the top of this bell. Maybe like that. And then one down here. And that's going to be my cover. The reason I put the vellum cover on it is because I wanted to protect this vintage Christmas card, which is pretty fragile. In fact, I used some tissue paper. I opened it up. It's one of those that fold in half and then half again. I glued some tissue paper down the spine because I wanted to reinforce that and give it a little more strength there where it might tear out because of the cord that I used. I used some baker's twine on that. I think I can glue those snowflakes down without getting into the stamping there if I put this paper clip on it to hold it down. I had it flattened out, and maybe that was a mistake for that. I don't know. Anyway, I'm going to use Fabri-Tac on this. These little things are always hard to do because they have pointy edges and stuff. So I'm just going to try to go over it enough to get it stuck down, and hopefully it'll hold. Get my Fabri-Tac going. I just kind of wanted that to say Merry Christmas Memories and not have New Year's involved in that. I feel like this Memories is going downhill a little bit, but it is what it is, and it's going to have to be that way now because it's stamped. Okay. These little snowflakes that I made with a die that my friend gave me in a little pack of die. She sent me a bunch not too long ago. I'll show you just a second when I get this pressed down. Okay. It was out of this little set. It's got, let me just open this up. I think she ordered these on Amazon. I'm not sure about that, but these are, there's a snowman and a Santa and a sleigh. I think you can see them better on this side. And a deer's head there, and then this little wreath and some holly and berries, the snowflake, a star, and this little Christmas tree. When they came, they were all together on this set. They were all attached. And so you break them off, each one at where those little connector pieces are when you want to use them. Or I guess you could just cut them all out at one time if you wanted to and not break them apart. If you wanted to do them all, that would be fine. She also gave me this little truck one, which I'm going to use also in my book. And it's got this is the truck, and it's got sideboards for the bed of the truck, and this half Christmas tree that she put, like he's hauling a Christmas tree home. And this is the wheels die for that, and I'm going to put that in. Oh, there's, that other one had the bells in it too. So, anyway, I'm going to glue this other snowflake on here, and then I'll show you the book. It's not finished. I bound it using the baker's twine. I don't know how well vellum and Fabri-Tac work together, but we'll see. They may all pop off for all I know. I just don't want that to smear before it's good and dry. Let's see if I can get a little bit of this glue off of here that is in places it doesn't need to be. I think that looks pretty good. I haven't done hardly any decorating on this other than just adding this ribbon here because of the spine. I wanted to have something besides the vellum that it was going through. So I put that on there. And then I decided to just keep the length of it out here to use as a bookmark going down inside. I still see shine on it, so I'm going to try to be real careful here. We already talked about this Christmas card, and it had a bell on the inside. I really like these old-fashioned bells. And then I added some short pages in here just to kind of have some interest in it. And this has some roses stamps on it. And here in North Texas, it's not uncommon for us to have roses in December. So that's kind of why I put that in there. I just found that. I thought it'd be good to go in there. And that's just coffee dyed. This came out of a Southern Living Christmas cooking, decorating, that kind of book. It came out of this book, Christmas with Southern Living 2008. I got this at our Salvation Army store, so I didn't pay too much for it. But it has lots of recipes, but it also has some really pretty pictures. And I used one similar to that in here too. But anyway, that's what I did. And I used Kathleen's trick of using some sandpaper on it to get rid of the shine a little bit. And just to make it look a little more vintage to go with the yellow Christmas cards. And then that's the back of that one. And this is just a piece of sparkly tulle. I don't know if you can see the sparkle on the camera. It may filter it out, but it's just kind of a gold color. And what I did is I put on the other side of this book, I put in this page. I put in this page that I'd used a die to cut this opening in, and I wanted it over this bell. So I glued it to this. It was just that single sheet. I glued it to this piece of tulle, and then I put a piece of this sparkly ribbon over it to hold it on even more. And that's just some I got at Walmart, I think. So, let's see, where were we? Another, the bells. This kind of has a bell thing too, in addition to the home. And that was out of a children's book. It was actually like a monthly thing, and this was Valentine's, I think, in spring. But I thought the sheep were appropriate for Christmas with manger scene, and whether the sheep are there or not, it's still something we think about at Christmas is sheep. And I think on that page I'm going to put that verse out of Psalms 100 that says, "We are the sheep of his pasture." And I think that would be nice to go on there. And then I'm going to put some fiber through that. Shouldn't tell you what all I'm going to do. I should just do it. This is that holly die, and I just used a red marker to fill in the berries. This is the window envelope that I put washi tape over and put lace here. And then I glued a piece of red on this, and it has a little pocket right here. This was to cover up the type that was under there. You can barely see some type there. I'm going to stamp something on that. I haven't decided what that's going to say yet. I don't want to just say Merry Christmas because that's obvious. And then this little sweet little card is... I just love the way they used to do cards. The illustrations were so soft and sweet. And then they'd fold them in unusual ways, like this one with the house back there. And then they have the house on this side for the message. It's just printed on one side because they fold it in half this way and then in half this way. So they only were printing one side, simplifying it that way. This would be writing space if I could bring myself to write on it. I don't know that I can. I might make this a side pocket on this side. I don't know. And then I just used some of that trigonometry and algebra paper with some coffee dye on it. And this was just a stencil I was trying out, and the brayer and things, and it's just a scrap that was laying around. I wanted to extend this page. And this is the page I think I'm going to put the truck on. And then that's the other side of the bells page. And then this with the tulle over that. Or I think it's also pretty on this side with it being over the ornament there. And that's the other side of that page out of that Southern Living book. And the other side of the scrappy bits. And this is to Hugh and Hazel and children, love always mother and dad. And then the back. And I left this long. I haven't decided. I may make this into a pocket back here. Or I could make it where it comes around the front and make a closure there. I haven't decided about that yet. So anyway, that's my little Christmas book. I was inspired by Lynn, and her YouTube channel is A Bit of Birdsong. She had done just a little scrappy book that she put together really quick, and I thought that would be fun to do. And I kind of wanted to do something Christmassy, but I didn't want to try to make a big journal and have it take up all of my December doing it. So this is what I did. I think this page is going to be the one that I put the truck on. I just hope that's dry. I probably shouldn't have stamped that, but I did, so we'll just go with it. Okay, what I did on this truck is these little wheels. I think you're supposed to take the outer rim out and make a piece like that. It turns out that that is exactly the same size as my 1/2-inch punch. So I just punched these. I'm not going to use these, but this is the paper I stamped the tire part out of. It was gray, and it had these designs on it that I thought looked like spokes. But anyway, this is what I did. I used the die, and I cut out the gray, and then I cut out a piece of the blue, the truck blue, and then I cut out the same, it's kind of a blue, silver blue color that I used for these. And then I just glued, the way the die is, each one is a circle, like a lifesaver circle. And so I glued them to this page. I put the glue on the page, on the paper, and I put the outside rim down, and then I put the blue down, and then I put the hubcap in the center of that. And what I'm going to do with it now is take this little punch, which luckily is the same size, and hopefully I won't mess this up, But just line it up around where the wheel is. And hopefully you can get it right. Cut that out. It's pretty good. I can always go over it with on the edge with a little bit of black if I need to, or gray. That little thing is in my way. Okay. The reason I'm putting this blue truck in here is because I want this page to be the story about my daddy going out and getting our Christmas tree every year. As I said, he was a farmer, and so he went out often every day in the wintertime to feed the cows, at least every other day, to check on them and feed them. And he would, when it got December, he would start looking around when he was out feeding the cows. We had a lot of little juniper cedar trees in our area, and he would pick out one that he thought was a good shape and size, and he'd have his eye on it, you know, over the time he'd pick this one out. And then about a week or 10 days before Christmas, he would go out in the field and cut down the tree and bring it in. And it always fit just perfect in the room. And then we had high ceilings in that old house, and it was always tall enough but not going up and turning over at the corner. It's so hard to judge a Christmas tree out in the field because you have all the wide open spaces, and the tree looks smaller out there than it does when you get it inside your house. Now, I don't know if I want to put the tree over on this side, the truck, or put it on this side. I may put it over here, even though that's kind of strange, because I kind of want it driving into the area rather than leaving. Could put it there. And put a tree over here, maybe. I think I'm going to put it here because I do want it driving in, and I don't think I'm going to need a whole lot of space to write my story about Daddy picking out the Christmas tree. I looked on Etsy, I think it was, about somebody that had used this same type of die, and what they suggested doing was putting glue on this and then placing the tires under the wheel. What do you call that? Wheel well. That's what you call it. So I'm going to do that. I'm just going to put a little bit right up here and right up there. And this die cuts all the fenders and everything. And I think the reason it does that is so that you can it looks pretty good. I think the reason it does that is so you can like cut 2 of these, and then you can add an extra fender or the door or whatever to give it more dimension. I don't think I'm going to do that. I think I'm just going to use it as it is. Let's see. I'm trying to get that white edge up under there, and I won't have to do anything to it. Okay. I think that looks pretty good. It's kind of riding high. Okay. All right, I'm going to glue this down. Except, do I want something behind it? That is the question. And if I do, what is it? I could put a little bit of this behind it. I don't know if that's appropriate or not. Or under it. Let's put a little bit across there to ground it. Maybe that's what I'll do. Take this piece. And I may let that just hang off the edge a little bit too. Okay. Put this paper under here. Well, I didn't cut it long enough to go off the edge. So maybe I won't do that. Just leave it like that. And then glue the truck and place it on there. It makes it kind of fragile to have all these extra cuts on there. But I suppose if you wanted to do all the extras, it would be easy to have your extra pieces that way. There is the truck. And that little piece has a door handle. These three little pieces, I think this is the bumper, that's the door handle, and I don't know what that one's supposed to be unless it's maybe the headlight. But I kind of think it's distracting to have more than those three, so that's what I'm going to go with on that. And I cut the Christmas tree on the dark paper and then the light green paper, and just added it under there to give it just a little more dimension, interest, whatever you want to call it. So I'm going to put this. Now this may be kind of tricky to get this in the place I want it to be. I do need the sideboards glued on there. But I need to put the tree down first so I know where it is going. And I don't guess it matters too much. Hopefully it'll be obvious that it's the tree. And glue this. I've been thinking about other Christmas memories that I want to include in this little book, and I've been writing them down. I think that's the way that goes. It could, I suppose, go the other way with the little slats going up, but anyway, it's going to be that way on this one, like that. I've got glue on my fingers again, so everything's sticky. This is that mulberry paper, and I used it because it was the closest color to the truck. Daddy's old truck was blue. What was left of the paint, there was a good bit of the paint was gone, and it was a farm truck, so it was not cared for terribly much, at least not in the years that I knew about it. But that's the truck I learned to drive in. And first driving I ever did, Daddy let me drive. He was baling hay out in the field and had those small square bales that they used to do. And he was having me drive the truck up to the next bale because the combine would spit out the bales ever so often. And so I was driving between bales, and I ran over a bale to begin with. So he didn't say a thing. He just let me. He said, "Now, gal, you need to stay a little further away from the bales." So I did. Anyway, I think that's what I'm going to do on that. So let's see how this is looking over here. I think that's getting dry, I hope. And I think I had it opened up so it'd be flat to stamp it, and now it needs to be pressed back down the other way to be closed. So I still don't know what I should do about this back part. If I should make that a pocket, or if I should just make it come around to be a closure. I don't know. We'll see. We'll think about it. But I like the way the vellum looks over that scene. It looks snowy, foggy, whatever you want to say. So anyway, I think that's going to be it for today. I hope you like seeing my little book. And I'm going to try to add some more decorations to it and show you again if it's enough to see other than what you've already seen. So anyway, thanks so much for watching. Thanks for coming by and spending time with me, and I will see you next time. Have a great week. Bye.